Oh, it's good to see you. I'm here in Lithia Park in Ashland, way down here in southern Oregon. I thought I'd just come here for a little change of pace. I want to talk to you today about Jesus and why the authorities, why the Pharisees hated him. You know, those Pharisees, they were the guys who were they were so good at compliance. I mean, legalistic. They just followed the law to the letter without much compassion for people. In fact, Jesus would say they had no compassion. So the question for today is, why would they hate Jesus? Here he is, the Son of God, the kindest, most generous person who ever lived, and yet they had problems with him. Well, I think I'm going to give you about 5 or 6 reasons why I think they hated Jesus. And if you want to use any of these in your paper, go for it. That's just fine. After all, we're here to learn. Audacity. Maybe that would be a good word, audacity. Who would have the audacity to say that they were the Son of God, that they led a perfect life? I guess audacity would be / claims, the claims that he made. He said, you know, you've all come from below, I came from above. I'm going to judge the world in the end. I'm going to rise from the dead. He made a lot of claims, audacious claims. And those claims then would qualify for heresy or blasphemy, because he was claiming to be God. So that was what put him on the cross in the end, was that they said he claimed to be God. And their place in society was threatened, because Jesus came along and didn't consult them. He didn't run through the establishment. He went up against it. In fact, he said things about those Pharisees that were so condemning. He said those Pharisees are like a cup that's clean on the outside, but it's corrupt in the inside. They are like polished tombstones. On the outside, they're pretty, but on the inside, dead men's bones. He told parables about the Pharisees, and they were always the bad guys. They were never the good guys. You know, he would say a Pharisee was legalistic, but a prostitute came along and washed the feet of Jesus. Oh boy, he'd make a contrast like that. He would tell the story of the Good Samaritan. Now, Samaritans were despised by the religious establishment because they were half-breeds. They were half, they were half Jewish and half something else. Well, most of us are half-breeds. But in those days, that was a big thing. And he said in that story of the Good Samaritan, you'll find it there in the book of Luke, he said that the religious guys walked on by a man who was hurt. But the Pharisee, the outcast, he became the hero of the story. Jesus said they were frauds. The Pharisees, religious leaders. And you know, I've already alluded to this, but there was the idea with Jesus that he didn't need the establishment. He never went to them to consult with him to get their okay on anything. He spent, it seems, very little time in the temple. So you have all these things that are going on. Jesus teaching against them, being offended by the kind of people they were, not connecting up with them, all of those things. And they hated him, and their hatred finally put him on the cross. The common people, the normal people, ordinary people loved him, but not the leaders. That's the way it went.